Okay, welcome back again, guys. This is another episode, and in this episode we're going to be talking about one of the main topics, one of the main confusing words in the previous episode, and it is the word candlesticks. I hope you have watched completely the previous episode and now you understand how MT5 works, because this is just a continuation of that episode. So, back in the 18th century, right? Price movement used to be represented by lines. I'll give you an example. Let's say price is at $2, right? You mark there. Price moves to $4, you mark on 4. Price moves to $3, you mark. So price movement by the end of that duration of a specific period, right, will be represented by just connecting those dots, creating what is called a line chart, which I showed you in the previous. But then in the 18th century, there came a man, a Japanese guy called Muneshi Homa. Muneshi Homa came from a line of people who were invested in the rice market. So when Muneshi Homa inherited that family business, right, the guy was very smart. Like financially, he was very, very smart. But then he noticed that the price movement of rice is not just random. It follows a pattern that can be studied. So what he did was that he created something that later on got to be called candlesticks. Let me practicalize this situation. Let's say our duration for recording prices is 4 hours, right? Because the markets are moving every second. Let's say our duration for recording price is 4 hours, right? And the time is 10 a.m., right? And after 4 hours, that means 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, that will be 1400. That will be the next time that we will create a price, right? So on the line chart, let's say at 10 a.m., price is at $4, right? And then at 2 o'clock, 2 p.m., price will be at, let's say $6, right? On a line chart, we just connect those dots, right? And then the next dot will probably be at 6 p.m. after 4 hours. Let's say it's now $6. So what you have there is just a line. But the truth is, price did a lot more than just move from 2 to 3 to 6, right? It did a lot of things. Why? Because how price moves. Let's say at 10 a.m., price was at 2, right? But then by the time it got to 2 p.m., where it went to 3, it probably, during these 4 hours, it probably spiked to $7, right? And then it went down to, let's say, to $1, right? It went down to $1. And then by 2 p.m., it closed at $3, right? It looks like, if you are drawing a line chart, it will look like price just moved from $2 to $3. But there's a lot that happened in between, right? So this is the kind of information that Homer was trying to show. He was like, no, you know what? We can have a situation whereby we show the movement of price by using charts that don't show all the information of the movement of price during a certain period. So that's the kind of loophole as a finance guy that he saw in the markets, and then he was like, you know what, we need to have something that represents all this information. That's when we came up with something that later on got to be called candlesticks, right? Because candlesticks, what they do, they will show you that price started at $2, right? And then it will also show you that during these 4 hours, price might have spiked all the way to $10, and then it went down to $1 before closing at $3. A candlestick shows you all that information. So he created something that later got on to be called candlesticks that will help you to see the market, the direction of the market, and they are also show key areas that the market is likely to reach, reverse, and consolidate. So candlesticks do more than when we will get an in-depth into them. We have a part 2 when we will be talking about more information that the candlestick. It does more than just show you that price went from 2 to 10 to dollar to closing at 3. It also shows you things like where the market will reach, reverse, or consolidate. All right, so let me show you the kinds of things that candlesticks show with the price movement of a specific chart that I have here. As you can see, I have shown you information that shows that the market is going up, right? And the market went up, right, for a specific period, and then it started to going down. As you can see in that arrow, the market started to go down, right? And then there is in the process of the going up and the going down, you can see that there is a market, there is a zone that the market was respecting, right? So if let me practicalize what was going on here. Let's say Mr. Homer has sells rice, right? This information may be in the duration of a period of a week, right? All this information. If it were a line chart, it might not show all this information. But when the price was going up, you can tell that there was a demand for rice, right? And then the market started to go up and up and up. But as you can see with the candlesticks there, it was going up in a way whereby it goes up, comes down a little, goes up, comes down a little, goes up, just like that. That's how the market moves, right? But then as it got up, there is a price it got to whereby probably I would say rice became too expensive. And then it started to come down because the guys who were buying were like, you know what, this is not sustainable. I cannot buy at this price. And you also notice that usually when things are being bought at a good price, many sellers start to kick in, right? So you will notice that as many sellers start to kick in, some will start offering their rice at a discounted price. When they offer at a discounted price, they will force the guys who are selling at an expensive price to sell at also a discounted price, which will mean there will be a little bit of an oversupply of the product, putting the price down a little bit. That's simple supply and demand. That's how supply and demand works. But as you can see there, it shows that there is a specific zone that the market was respecting for a certain period of time, right? You can see that this zone was first tried before the market started showing on that arrow that says the market is going down. Like before the market went here, this zone was first tested here, right? Actually, it was first tested here, and you can see that price went up, right? It came down and also rested here. It went up and came down, tried to test that zone. What will be happening in an actual market, right? I would say because people were noticing that rice was being bought at a good price, right? They started to supply the market to the point whereby the buyers were getting at a good price and the price started going down. But as the price started going down, there is a certain price that sellers were like, you know what, this price went to, let's say 10. Let's say this high is 10. And now it's at $6. I cannot sell at this $6. I'll wait for price to go up a little bit, then I sell. That's what you see happening here, here, here. But as price kept on coming down to 6, what is happening is people are actually getting to realize, you know what, there is enough rice in the market to the point whereby buyers are looking for let's say a 6 so that they can buy. That's why price strike down like that, and then it shot all the way down probably to 5.5. So this is the kind of information that candlesticks can show you that is more advantageous to the charts, because what you're trying to look for is exactly what Mr. Homer was trying to look for: understanding price, where it's coming from, where it's going, and where it is likely to reverse. That is the same price that the supply is looking for and saying, you know what, this price is a little bit too expensive when it gets here, this price is too cheap. That kind of information, the candlesticks can show that. So one candlestick, right, has 3 things that it shows you. It shows you a body, a tail, and a tail. I hope that is very clear. So a tail shows the highest and the lowest prices reached during a specific interval, right? I hope that is also very clear. So let's say this is the movement of rice during a specific interval. A tail shows you that price got to $2 and also it got to $10, right? That's what it shows you. Let's see what a body shows you. A body shows you the opening and the closing price during a specific interval. Like I told you, these candlesticks, right, you can program them to show you information for any specific interval. You can program them to show you information after every minute, right? You can program them to show you information after 5 minutes. You can program them to show you information after 10 minutes, right? So what they are saying is the body shows you that the market started at $5, right? It probably went down to $4. It shot all the way up to $10, and then it closed at $7. That's what the body and the tails show you. The tails show you the highest and the lowest prices reached by a commodity at a specific interval that you have set, and the body show you where it started from and where it closed at for that specific interval that you have set yourself, right? I hope that is specific, that is clear. So what we have here, and I'm sure you can see that the body is green, and I'm also sure you have noted that on our candlesticks on that chart we had them in green and in red. Those were the 2 colors. So when it is green, we call it a bullish candlestick. I hope you have taken note of that. You call it a bullish candlestick. The bullish part is coming from, it is going up, and it comes from the fact that, you know how bulls fight for, like when they are fighting, isn't it? They are like trying to pick up whatever they are fighting with the horns and then throwing it around in the sky. Like they take it from the bottom and then they throw it in the sky. I don't know why they didn't call it like shoveling because it's throwing things in the sky. But it simply means bullish means going up. And then bearish means the market is going down. It is represented by a red candlestick. And the bearish part means a bear fights by like trying to force things to the ground. It claps everything. It claps everything to the ground. So that's where the bullish and the bearish candlestick comes from. I'm sure if you have watched finance movies or finance homes or what, you see that there is either a bull that is charged and trying to fight and ready to fight, put things in the sky, right? Is usually when it's a financial, like, let's say it's RBZ or it's a bank, they usually put the bull and say, we're going to take everything to the sky. And then it's just what it represents. So A red candle means the market is going down, bearish. A green candle means price is going up, that is bullish. And there we have an example of a green candle with its tails, that is a bullish candle, and a green candle, a bearish candle, just means the vice versa of that. So let's go to the market and try to understand what we were talking about. This is my market, right? It looks very clean, very straightforward, and so as we were talking, this is a green candlestick, right? This is a green candlestick right here. It's I want that in a different color. This is a green candlestick. I'll call it, and then what kind of line do I want? I want that line. Okay, all right. This is a green candlestick. So this is I want to insert text. Where are my options? Script, express, objects. Don't I have an insert text? Let me look for where do I in. All right, text. I told you guys, if I want to edit where to insert text, I just say customize, and then I go and look for text here. Do I have text? Yes, there, and then I insert it and close. And now I do have my text there, and I want to, guys, this is my bullish. I want a caps lock, bullish candlestick, right? Okay, that's just like that. And this is what we call a bearish candlestick. I want to have my text over here. Bearish candlestick. Right. Yeah, that's simple as that. So as you can see, my time frame is on M15, right? So that means for the 15 minutes that I had this candlestick running, it started here. Oh no, it started here, and then it went there, right? A little bit gig, went up a little bit, and then ran down, melted down all the way to this price and closed there. So how do I see where the market opened? Why didn't I say it opened here? Because the previous one was bullish, means green. So the green tells me that it went up and the price closed upwards. So it could have closed only here. Does it make sense? Can I zoom in more? Okay, that's what it means. I'll give you another example. This is my previous candle, right? It's bullish. So that means price can only have opened at this price. And I would assume it went down to this price, creating this tail. So this is the lowest price that we were given by this candlestick. This is the lowest price that we were given by this candlestick. And this is its opening price right there. And its closing price was right there. Because it opened at the same, it closed at the same price, it was its highest. We don't have a tail at the top. Does it make sense? I hope it makes sense. Because it closed at the same price as its highest price. That's why we don't have a tail at the top. So let me delete all selected, right? Yeah, so I've removed all that. And what we call a bullish market is this. This is what we call a bullish market. Try this is also another way you get to zoom out and zoom in. This is, do you see this going up, this upward movement by price? That is what we call a bullish market. This upward movement is what we call a bullish market. And this downward movement is what we call a bearish market. Do you get the hang of it, guys? So the candlesticks help us to see whether the market is bearish or bullish for a specific interval. You get to determine. You can want it on 1 minute, you can want it on 5 minutes, you can want it on 15 minutes, you can want the information on 30 minutes, you can want the information on H1, you can want the information on H4. It all depends on what you want. So that is what we have, guys. That is our lesson on candlesticks. I hope that was clear, that was straightforward, and you have grasped something. If you didn't, I urge you to watch this video for the second and the third time, like I told you to do. Thank you so much, guys.